Welcome to the Grace Period, where we get real about attorney mental health and well-being and pull back the veil on the high-stakes world of big law. I'm your host, Emily Logan Stedman, a commercial litigator, partner, and someone who believes there's always room for a little more grace, even in this high-stakes profession. Here, I share real stories from my own journey in big law and invite you behind the scenes, past the billable hour, to talk about what it means to stay human in a demanding field. Whether you're a lawyer, a legal professional, or someone trying to find your footing, this space is for you. Let's pull back the curtain, start the conversation, and find our grace period together. Disclaimer, the views and opinions shared in this podcast are mine alone and do not necessarily reflect those of my firm or any organization. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not legal advice, and listening does not create an attorney-client relationship. Welcome to episode 43 of the Grace Period. Today, I want to dig into a skill that's essential at every stage of your career, but it's rarely taught directly. What is that? Managing up and managing down. To put it another way, how to communicate and lead effectively, no matter your title, experience, or level on the organization chart. If you're early in your career, leadership might sound like something that happens later when you have partner or manager in your title. But the best teams are built by people who know how to communicate and support both those above and below them, right now, where you are. Let's start with managing up. Managing up is all about making your supervisor's job easier, and by extension, making the team stronger. This might look like anticipating questions or needs before they're asked, providing status updates proactively without being prompted, bringing business solutions or any kind of solution to the table, not just problems when you hit a roadblock. Being honest about your workload and capacity so expectations can be managed on both sides. Taking ownership over deadlines, all of them, and thinking big picture about the case. Early in my career, I realized partners and senior associates are juggling just as much as I am, and often much, much more. The things vying for your time, the level of busyness you experience increases exponentially year over year. When I realized that, I started proactively communicating, clarifying deadlines, and flagging issues as early as I could. I became someone those senior to me could rely on, not just for good work, but for ownership and good judgment. But what about managing down? Or, as I like to think of it, leading from wherever you are. Whether you're supervising a summer associate, collaborating with a paralegal, leaning on a legal assistant, or mentoring someone informally, managing down means setting clear expectations and explaining the why behind a task, giving feedback that's specific, actionable, and kind, checking in regularly and making yourself available for questions, recognizing effort and celebrating growth, not just the results. It's about modeling the kind of working relationship you hope to have, one built on trust, respect, and open communication. Leading by example is at the heart of all of this. And the secret is that skills for managing up and down are really the same. They're about empathy, clarity, and a willingness to see things from someone else's point of view or perspective. Here's some practical tips. Whether you're managing up or managing down, you should ask questions and listen actively. Really listen to the answers. Be transparent about your own needs and limitations. Say thank you, often and sincerely. Offer help and accept help when it's needed. Again, lead by example. If you're not sure where to start, pick one relationship, up or down the chain, and commit to one small change or effort to lead this week. Maybe it's a proactive status update. Maybe it's a quick thank you note. Maybe it's just asking, how can I support you right now? Effective communication and leadership aren't about hierarchy. They're about connection, and anyone at any stage can build those skills. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Grace Period. I hope today's stories and reflections brought you a little clarity, a little comfort, and a new way to think about managing up and managing down. Remember, you don't have to choose between your well-being and your ambition. By setting boundaries, building supportive habits, and giving yourself permission to pause, you can thrive in law, in big law, and in life. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. That is the path to our grace period. Disclaimer, the views expressed here are solely my own and do not represent the official policy or position of my firm or any organization. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only, not professional or legal advice. And this podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship.